Welcome back once again to the USA Friendship Quilt. Today we're going to work on Lesson 4, Creating the Borders. Now on to the rest of the border. As you remember, I told you to save all the scraps from the fabric you used to cut out the applique states. Well, here are my scraps, and I've cut them all into 1.5-inch squares. Maybe I believe 1 3/4-inch squares, so I have a little fudge factor built in. And what I'm going to do now, because I want to make a border like this, it's very hard to sew that many little squares together and come out with a straight line. So once again, we're going to rely on paper piecing to give us the look that we want. So we're going to start out by taking 2 squares. Let's place them right sides together, like so. And let's put them so that they are on the back side, and you can see that they extend into the next square by about 1/4 inch. And we're going to stitch on the line between A1 and A2. Now we're going to take this, we're going to take this piece of fabric, finger press it down, and you can just use your nail. We're going to turn it over, and we're going to fold the foundation piece along the next stitching line, and we're just going to trim this off to about 1/4 inch. Now we're going to take another piece, place it right sides together with the piece before it, flip it over, and stitch on the line between A2 and A3. Again, we're going to finger press that closed, fold on the next stitching line, trim that down to about 1/4 inch, get another piece, stitch, finger press, turn it over, fold on the next stitching line, trim, and I apologize, your film, the video is not shaky, it's me, so bear with me. Now we're going to put the next piece down, right sides together, only one piece, and sew on the line between A4 and A5. So now we're going to give this a good press, and we're going to trim the seam allowance on both sides to 1/4 inch. So now we have our block all pressed and it's trimmed so that we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides of the next stitching lines. So now we're going to take a piece of the background fabric and we're going to place that face down on those squares. And now we're going to stitch. And you want to make sure on this one that you're stitching accurately on this line so that when we join these pieces up, they join correctly. So let's stitch on this line. And that will get pressed up that way. We'll get another piece. Put it face down. And let's stitch along this line. You take that back and press these very well and trim them, and I'll show you the final block. So now we have our finished block, and you'll be able to see that it will fit in perfectly with our cornerstone block as we continue on. Now we'll need, I believe, 6 of these blocks for the top and the bottom each, and 5 for each side. So we'll continue on with these, then we'll join them together to form the long block, and then we can start to attach them to our quilt. You'll need 2 sets of 5 blocks for each side of your quilt. Once you get those put together, go ahead and add them to the sides. You'll need 2 sets of 6 for both the top and the bottom borders. Add the cornerstones to each side, and then you're ready to apply those to the quilt. Now you can go ahead and apply the top and bottom borders to your quilt, and this portion of the quilt is complete. Now on to the fun part, quilting.